Hello everyone and welcome to another part of our inventory series. In this tutorial, we'll be creating the functionality to split our item that we are selecting or drop it, drop the amount we select here by changing the value of this slider. Okay, so let's get started. First, we need a way to select, we need a way to tell the engine that we are focusing on this widget, on this item inside our inventory. So let's go to our widget, inventory item slot, and in here, in the on mouse button down, we need to change a few things here. First, we need to make room. And then here we need a branch. So connect this to the branch. If false, we return unhandled. Get mouse event. Now, if true, we need before we detect drag, we need to tell the engine that this widget is focused. So we outline it. Okay, so we mark it as focused. So let's create an event dispatcher, and let's call it on item slot clicked, and it takes one parameter, and the parameter it takes is the inventory item slot widget slot clicked, and let's call it here, and the parameter itself. Okay, now we need to tell the listeners, or we need to first bind listeners to this event. So let's go inside our inventory, and in here, when we update the inventory UI, we need to drag from the return value of this create widget and get bind on item slot clicked, and bind it here. And for the event, let's create an event for it and create a matching function. Let's call it handle item slot clicked. Before we do anything here, let's go to our inventory item slot and create a function here. Let's call it focus item. Takes a boolean focus, if we should focus or not. And now, for me, I want the rarity border to change its outline color to gold when you are focusing it, and if not, change it back to black. So let's drag this here. Let's drag it and set brush. And the brush we want to set is based on this value here. So make a select and return value here. For true, let's promote this to a variable called focus brush, and for false, also a variable unfocus brushes. Okay, now let's close this. And for the unfocus, it's basically the same as the default one, right? So let's copy everything inside here from here and paste it inside the unfocus. Okay, and for the focus as well, let's do the same thing, but with a little tweak. The outline is gold, and the width maybe make it 5 or 6. That's the focus brush. Now for this image, we need to, in here, in the event construct, we need to collapse this to a function. Let's call it set rarity border. And inside of this, we want to get the rarity border, get brush. No, sorry, not get brush. We need to get these two, actually, and set brush resource to texture. And for this one as well. And texture is this one here. So just plug this here. This is basically overriding the texture only. Okay, so now if we go back to our inventory here and we check if first let's promote this to a variable, let's call it focused item, and let's remove it from here. And first we need to check if the parameter we passed is equal to the focused item. Let's make a branch. If it's equal, we return. If it's not equal, we need to unfocus the old brush, the old item, and to focus the new one, the one we clicked. So to focus the old one, first we need to make a for each loop and unfocus everything, every item we have, and when we complete, we focus the new one. So to hold reference to the items we have to go inside our inventory, update inventory UI, and in here we need to drag 3 from here and add to array. Oh, sorry, not add to array. Instead, set array element, and the array we need to promote it to a variable called inventory items, and the index is this index. Let's promote it to a variable element index, and here that element index. Okay, and here element index as well, and size of it true. Now let's go back here, drag the inventory items, and for each one we need to call focus item, and we need to call false. Then on completed, we need to get the focused item. We need to set it to be equal to the slot clicked, and we need to focus it. True. Okay, so now if we start the game, it should work. Let's try it out. If we pick up a few stuff and we click on this one, it should turn orange. As you can see, it's orange because we focused it. And if you click on this one now, this one will turn orange and this one will turn black. Okay, so now we have the ability to focus our widgets. But we get here an error. Oh yeah, because let's make an is valid here. This is the reason for this is because we are setting an array element, and most of this array is empty because we have 20 capacity. So here there is 20 elements, but most of them are empty. They don't hold any. The value here is not valid. Now, if you notice, when I drag the item, now if I have it clicked and I drag it, the board will go back to black. So let's fix this to stay gold, to stay focused. And also on drop, we need to still refocus it as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. So go inside your inventory component, and inside the swap items, let's make room here. And let's add a pin for the sequence. And then here, we need to get the inventory widget reference, and we need to get the inventory slots, inventory items, and we need to get a copy. And the copy we want to get is toIndex. The new slot we dropped on, we need to get the item. We have that. And for it, we need to call handle. From the inventory widget, handle item slot clicked, and the slot is this one. So now, when we drag and drop here, it will refocus. Okay, even if we drag it, if we swap it with something else, it will refocus. Now we still have when we drag, we need to focus it also. So let's go inside our inventory item slot, and on drag detected, we simply get this default drag visual, and we call focus item true. Also, I want to make the size box a variable, and drag it here, override, set height override, and set width override to make it a little bit smaller. So maybe 165, 165. Now if I drag it, the size box from here, sorry, get size box, not this one. 160, 160. Okay, so now if you drag it, it's smaller. As you can see, it's smaller than the actual one, and the outline is focused. Great. Let's get the components inside here. Okay. Now let's close this. We don't need it for now. Let's go back inside our inventory. And inside our update inventory UI, in here, after we clear the wrapbox children, we need to also clear the inventory items so they don't stack on top of each other. Now let's go here to the designer tab, and for the top left item section, let's make it collapse by default. And for this one here, this horizontal box, also make collapse. I'd like to make this collapse horizontal box a variable called bottom item info section. Now we start not collapse, sorry. This one make it hidden. Okay, not collapse. Okay, because collapse not visible and takes up no space in the layout. We want it to take the space, so the wrap box doesn't fill the whole space. Now what we want is when we click on an item in our inventory, we want to show these two with the appropriate information. So let's start. First, we need to create a function. Or first, we need to set these inside the component. Split button, slider, drop button, this one. Okay, so let's create a function now, and let's call it update item info UI. First, we need to get the focus item and check if it's valid. If it's not valid, we return. Now, if it's valid, let's start updating. First, we need to update the image here. So let's get let's item image. Okay, and text item quantity. Make them as variables. This one we don't need it. Okay. So get the item image, set texture. set brush from texture, and the texture is let's go to our inventory item slot really quickly. I want to replace something, so go here, and in here create a variable called item slot, inventory slot destruct. Okay, and make it incidentable, expose and spawn. And go back inside your inventory, update inventory UI, and in here just remove all of this and get this, not split, sorry, recombine this and drag it here and break this and quantity here. Okay, now let's go back here and delete everything, the item rarity, the item quantity, the item image, and let's make this public. Okay, now let's fix these errors. Item slot, split, break, and rarity. What else? And here on drag detected, refresh this, slot index and item slot. And for the image here, item slot, item data image. And for the quantity, item slot, quantity. Okay, close this up. Go back here, refresh this. And now here, let's get the focused item, get the item slot, break it, break this, and get the image. Now for the text, let's get the, where is it? Item quantity, set text. And the text we want to set is this quantity. So let's mount it to a variable, quantity. And plug it here and use grouping false. Now for the border, set brush, set brush color. No, sorry. Set brush from texture. And we need to get this again. Get item slot, split, break, and we need to get rarity to texture. Find the rarity and set the texture. Now let's get the split, this text here, the split text. So split button text. And let's set the text to be equal to, so the split button, it says split and the amount it will drop. So if we have 3 and we want to split, it will give us a 2 because 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So we will round up to the next value after the 1.5. Okay, so that's 2. So let's go here and get the quantity, the item quantity. Actually get the value here, quantity, and divide it by 2. Or actually make it to float first. Okay, now divide it by 2 and seal it. So what this does is it rounds up towards a positive infinity up to the next integer. So minus 1.6 becomes minus 1 and 1.6 becomes 2. And here we want to format text and we want it to say split times, open your brackets, and then here we want quantity and close the brackets and drag this here. So now it will display split times and the value of this. Now it's time to modify the slider. So in here we want to set the max value to be equal to the quantity. So get quantity, right? If you have 3, that's the maximum value we can reach. And we need to create a small function for the update slider UI. And it takes a parameter, a float, in value. And then here we want to get the slider set value, this. And then we need to set text, or let's get this text, make it variable, let's call it selection ratio. Set text and format the text. And we want the selected and the max. Selected is the value, and the max is the focused item and the quantity. Now let's go back here, call this function, and the end value we want by default is 1. Okay, always we start with 1. And finally, we want to show this horizontal box here. So let's drag it, this one, and set visibility to visible. So that's the command this bottom section. Now let's make the left section inside the same function. Now here, reroute. And the first thing is we need top left item border, this one. We need to set the brush color. And the brush color is similar to what we have here. So let's create the variable quickly. Call it rarity to color. Rarity. Tmap and linear color. Epic, rare, uncommon, and common. So legendary, you want it to be gold. Epic purple. Rare blue. Uncommon green. And for common, you want it to be gray. Okay, so let's get it and find. And for the rarity, let's get this rarity. Next, we have this text here. So top left rarity text. And we want this also. So let's call it top left item name alias. And this one here, top left quantity, item quantity. And this one, top left item quantity 2. And this one, item top left item description. Okay, now for the top left rarity text, let's set the text, format, rarity, type. And for the rarity, drag enum to string and drag it here. And for the type, we don't have it. We need to create an enum for it real quick. So go here, duplicate this, call it item type, inventory item type, and consumable, equipment, weapon, what else? Resource, and okay. Now close this, go to our struct here, the inventory item data, and add it. So type, inventory item type, drag it here, type, and add a name, alias. Okay, now let's go back here, and for type, let's duplicate this and drag it here. Now for the alias, so set text, and the text is the alias like this. And now for this top left item quantity, set text, format, quantity. And the quantity is this. And now in here, this quantity, let's get it, set text, format, we want it to say quantity, quantity. And connect the quantity also. Now what else do we have? We have the description. So get the description, set text, and let's copy this here, description. And finally, we set the visibility. What is it called? It's not a variable, so let's make it a variable. And we set the visibility to visible. Top left section. Okay, now let's close this. And in here, inside our handle item soft click, we need to call this update item info UI. Now, if we start the game and you click on this, as you can see, oh, it says one. Yeah, because we have to go inside our class, inside Apple, and in here, consumable Apple alias green Apple, description, an apple a day keeps the doctor away unless you throw it. And for the potion, health potion, description, tastes like crap, but hey, at least you are alive again. Okay, now it should work. If we start again, we click on the apple, it says green apple, we have 3 quantity times 3, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now if we change to this, it says legendary times 1, health potion, tastes like crap, but hey, at least you're alive again. And here, if we split, it says times 2, which is correct because 3 times 2 is 1.5, rounded is equal to 2. And if we split this, it's 0.5, rounded, it's equal to 1. But now let's make it that when we change the value of this, this updates. So let's go inside our inventory and click on the slider and override on value changed. And in here, we want to call the update slider UI, and the end value is this. And then here on collapsed, we want to set the focus item to null, and we want to, what is it, top left item info section and the bottom left bottom info section set visibility to hidden. Okay, so now if you start and we change this, it will change to 2. And here, 2, 3. And if we close, everything disappears. Okay. Now I think we're done for this tutorial. It's been long enough and we have done some great job. In the next part, we will be creating the split and drop functionalities. And that's probably it for the next tutorial and for this tutorial. But first, I want to make few stuff here. Maybe update inventory UI, make it public category. This one is private. Make it private. This one is public. Update item info UI. It's private, most probably. And this one is private as well. Okay. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next part. Take care.